If you're looking for an affordable 8-inch tablet, then this one is worth checking out. If you like the Nokia T20 tablet but wanted something smaller, more affordable and can make phone calls, then you're in luck. This is the Nokia T10 tablet. It's an 8-incher from Nokia and it's pretty much a mini T20 in many areas. And for an asking price of around $160 depending on where you live, this thing has the potential to serve a lot of people. Starting with the hardware, the T10 looks familiar at a glance. It has a similar design language to the T20, but with a polycarbonate plastic build as opposed to the sandblasted aluminum found on its big brother. The edges are flat and its waistline measures at 9mm. It also comes in one color, ocean blue, and in my opinion it looks pretty nice. And the back is textured, similar to the G11 and the G21, which adds a bit of grip. And because of this, it's a lot easier to keep clean too, compared to the T20. Handling the device is pretty easy, and the 375 grams of weight feel evenly distributed. You shouldn't have any problems carrying it with one hand and using it with the other. And I like that the T10 feels nice and sturdy in the hand. This doesn't have cheap, flimsy plastic that you can accidentally bend if you're not careful. And you can also buy an additional protective case cover for it, which also helps it sit upright. Something I don't currently have, but would highly recommend you get if you plan on using it on a daily basis. On top of that, the T10 also comes with an IPX2 splash resistance rating, so accidental splashes or water droplets shouldn't harm it. I think Nokia got the durability aspect of this tablet just right. On the front is an IPS LCD 8-inch display that comes with an HD Plus resolution. That's 1200 by 800 pixels and a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. And this aspect ratio works nicely for both watching content and using the device in a portrait orientation. And the 2-megapixel front-facing camera also indicate that this device was meant to be used mainly in portrait mode, almost like a comically large phone. Now the quality of the display is alright, although the resolution definitely feels a bit stretched on this size of device. For watching content at arm's length, it doesn't bother me too much, but you can easily see the pixels if you go looking for them, especially on static screens. Viewing angles are decent enough, and so is the contrast ratio. Nokia also corrected their mistake on the T20, so the T10 actually comes with wide-vine L1 support, meaning that you can enjoy Netflix, for example, in an HD resolution. In landscape mode, there are sizable bezels on the right and left, and slightly smaller ones at the top and bottom. And perhaps these bezels could have been a bit smaller, but looking at the price, they sort of make sense. They also make the tablet quite comfortable to hold onto without worrying about accidental presses. On the right there's a USB-C port, a mic hole and a loudspeaker, while the left houses a power button, a 3.5mm headphone jack and the other loudspeaker. Speaking of which, the dual speakers come with audio playback for spatial audio separation. They sound good even at max volume, but like the T20 they just aren't that loud. Using my super scientific how far can I reach playing Snake on this keypad test, this one scores a solid B. On the top to the left are your volume rocker keys, while the bottom is where you'll find your micro SD card slot and your SIM card slot too. Since you can get the tablet in either a 32 gigs or 64 gigs memory configuration, having expandable memory is quite useful here. On the back is a 5-megapixel rear-facing camera, which is alright for the occasional document snap or quick picture here and there, but definitely don't expect to take amazing pictures with this thing. Moving on to the software, the T10 comes with stock Android 12 out of the box with its good and bad. And Face Unlock makes sure that you're ready to go very quickly, although it isn't that secure. The good is that this is a very lightweight software experience, so even with limited hardware power, the performance of the device feels alright for day-to-day tasks. The bad though is that there aren't that many software features built in that make full use of the extra screen real estate. There are no edge shortcuts, advanced stylus support, and so on. And there are two key software additions here. You have Entertainment Center, which you can access to the left of your main home screen. It shows you a curated feed from video streaming apps such as Netflix and YouTube, for example, as well as quick access to games, audiobooks, and so on. And the other addition is KidSpace, which is a safe environment for you to customize your kids' experience when they're using the tablet, so they can only access the apps that you want them to use. What you do need to understand though is that Android tablets don't have a huge selection of apps that are specifically optimized for the large screen. So in many cases you'll just get scaled up versions of the phone apps, but hopefully now that more tablets are coming into the market, the situation might improve. A cool feature that the 10 has is that it can work as a secondary display for your PC and it supports touch input. I played around with this feature briefly and it seemed to work quite nicely. It's useful for better multitasking on your laptop or PC. Running the show inside the T10 is the Unisoc T606 octa-core CPU, which is clocked at 1.6 GHz. This is pretty much just an underclocked version of the T610 that's found on the T20. And performance for the most part is pretty adequate on my 4 gigs of RAM version that I have here for light web browsing, watching video content, checking your emails and social media, and so on. This isn't a very powerful chipset, but you can still do plenty of things on the T10 if you're a bit patient. Even a casual gaming session should work well enough, just don't expect to play games anywhere near their maximum graphical settings. I tested Call of Duty, Asphalt 9 and Dead Cells, and you can judge the performance yourself. If you own an Xbox or a PlayStation, you can stream their games directly onto the T10 and even connect their controllers to it. But you need to have a good internet connection, and that's the way I like to do things. Like many other Nokias, the T10 also comes with 2 years of Android updates promised and 3 years of security updates. But considering the T20 is still running on Android 11 at this point in time, don't expect to get the major updates very quickly. So how well does the T10 do video calls? I tested both Zoom and Microsoft Teams and I had no issues at all, and the audio quality was pretty good. Although the 2 megapixel front-facing camera is definitely a bottleneck here. Its quality is mediocre at best for video quality, so do keep that in mind. In terms of battery life, the T10 comes with a 5250 mAh battery inside. This isn't a very large battery capacity by any means considering the size of this thing, but given the display resolution and the power efficient processor, you should still manage to get a full working day out of the T10 without any issues. So that's about 8 to 9 hours of screen on time. Charging speed on the other hand is limited to a measly 10 watts. This means that it will take a good 3 hours or so for the battery to fully charge, which means that charging is best done overnight. So to sum up, this tablet is great for casual usage, having voice call support, its portability and clean software experience, for watching content whether it's for you or for your kids, being used as a secondary display, for quick video calls if you don't care too much about the video quality. And the T10 won't work for you if you spend the vast majority of your time multitasking, you're picky about your display resolution, you heavily depend on a stylus for your work, or you require high-end performance to be productive. So that's my quick dive into the Nokia T10. What do you think of this one? What's your favorite feature and what feature would you have liked to see implemented on the T10? Share your thoughts with me below. For its asking price, I think this is a pretty good basic tablet for your everyday needs, whether that's entertainment or for work. I like this size better than the T20 for carrying around everywhere I go, and it's also a lot easier to type in portrait mode on this. Though as a teleprompter for my YouTube channel, it definitely won't replace my T20. My perfect tablet would probably be more expensive and support a stylus properly in a very similar compact form factor. If you prefer a larger screen, check out my T20 coverage here, or check out my latest uploaded video here. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.